47 Weeks, Life and Learnings of a Dietetic Intern. Hey guys, welcome back to 47 Weeks. I just finished week 33. So Monday I had my orientation to food production and I got a tour and people at the different stations that they cooked at or worked at went over what they did and their roles and their responsibilities with me. It's actually in the same kitchen where I was for Central Food Service, because there's a belt line and then there's a dish area, but then there's also a large cooking area. There's slicing stations, there's kettle stations where they make the soups and mashed potatoes, and then there's a bakery area. It's very organized. So I had to be there for 7:30, but luckily the rest of the week, I was in at 8:30 most days. I went to a lot of meetings, up to 4 meetings a day. There's just so many people that the food production manager has to coordinate and communicate with, with all the supervisors and then the individuals that do the food forecasting and the menu things, and food suppliers that may want to sample cups or forks or a different kind of way to make something that's on their menu or some new things they could try. So there's just a lot of directing to do. Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, they sample some of the food, so they try it to make sure that the quality is there and the consistency. I also have a few projects that the preceptor gave me to keep me busy in between the meetings, which isn't much time, but I'm trying to figure out if there are any bylaws against garburators and if they're environmentally friendly and what that's like in Nova Scotia. So I'm contacting Halifax Water and a few other places and doing some research to see what I can find. There's also been a bunch of lock changes in the years because each freezer and fridge has their own lock with a key. They have dozens of keys on dozens of keychains that lock and unlock certain fridges and doors, but some of them aren't used anymore or the locks have changed, but no one's really gone through that. So I'm trying to figure out what to keep on these keychains and also maybe labeling certain fridges or changing labels just to kind of organize the fridges and the keys. I met with Deb on Tuesday for our midpoint self-evaluation meeting. It went really well. Deb said that she also thinks I would make a fantastic dietitian. I feel so close to being done. It's just 14 weeks to go. Friday was awesome. Friday was the Nova Scotia Dietetic Association conference in Truro, so myself and 3 other interns carpooled together and we went and we spent the day. It was amazing that it was free, and there was scones and coffee in the morning when you arrived, and there was also lunch served, and the speakers were great. I got to see some of my old professors from the Mount and Acadia and some of my old classmates. The topics at the conference were actually really useful. They talked about if you're going to endorse a product or recommend a product or sell a product, how you can do that ethically within our profession and scope of practice. Making sure the research is there and how you say things and present information. So there's just all those things that you need to consider, and how to make sure if you are going to recommend any supplements to know if they're really, legit and safe. For the afternoon, you split into 3 different groups. There was a talk about interprofessional practice, preceptorship, and I went to the mentorship session. And it just talked about the difference between a preceptor and a mentor and how you could be a good mentor and have a professional, formal relationship with a mentee and what it would mean to be in a mentorship program. It was neat. And lastly, there was also a talk about social media and the do's and don'ts of tweeting and Instagramming and that kind of stuff. The thing I really like about being an admin, and the same thing when I was in Central Food Service and distribution, is that you're so close to the intern's office and you see the other interns that are there in their own admin rotations or just visiting from clinical. It's nice to see each other more often and have lunch together or go get a coffee or go to meetings together. Next week I'm doing my taste panel and I'm going to be tasting a current vegetable stock that we use compared to a different one that we want to use that's actually lower in sodium, as well as 4 different kinds of diet mousses that we currently do, and maybe pierogies. I'm also meeting with my QI advisor and my Hearts in Motion preceptor, and we're gonna go over our research project because QI presentations are not next week, but the week after. And then I'm gonna be done food production, and it's gonna be class week. Well, that's all I got for you this week. Thanks for watching, and remember, sustain your body, sustain your life.